Do you want to have the perfect start possible in Death Stranding 2? You are in the right place. As your fellow porter who is about to finish my first playthrough and wasted a lot of hours making mistakes, I'll be giving 36 tips that will save you a lot of time and guesswork and help you avoid the common traps in the game. Like for example, focusing on the main story first and unlocking fast travel before you do a lot of side orders or side quests in this game, which I think is the most important tip on this list. I cannot stress how I wasted a lot of time going back and forth between shelters or finding lost cargo to make more deliveries, not knowing I would be unlocking fast travel later down the game. The Magellan is your main hub in the game and will be one of your main transport, and by just progressing in the story, you will be unlocking its capability to fast travel between key points in certain areas. When fast travel is available, it is super easy to just hop from point to point and take on side orders and complete the job. I will be explaining in detail how you can take advantage of fast travel to farm likes or experience fast later on, so stay tuned for that one. Tip number 2 is always take your time when making deliveries. The Death Stranding series is all about delivering your cargo in its best form, so you will want to avoid getting the cargo damaged by sudden jumps, unnecessary accidents, or bumping yourself in your surroundings. Death Stranding is all about patience and careful route planning, so take your time when traversing dangerous terrains and don't rush things. If you are rushing things because you want to get more deliveries done quickly but the cargo gets damaged in the process, you will be wasting time instead. Relax, enjoy each journey, and use your tools wisely, and you will be making more progress in this way. In connection with the last tip that I mentioned, you can easily plan your route before heading out in the field. The route simulator will let you plan your route by drawing paths on the map, and you can do so by pressing and holding the square button and dragging the path lines across your destinations. In relation to this, you can place markers on the map that you can easily follow. One easy thing to do is to just access first-person mode by pressing and holding the L1 button and finding your target location. Then press square and the markers will be placed with path lines which you can easily follow. You can also place multiple markers at once, and you can cancel a marker by pressing the square button again. Both of these features are useful for players who hates to open their map constantly for direction. Container sprays in Death Stranding series are one of the staple items that you should always have. Make it a habit to always craft and bring at least 2 container sprays with you so you can repair all of your cargo containers, especially when heading to areas with heavy timefalls in it. Your containers protect your cargoes from timefall, so repairing them by using container sprays is a must. You can do so by equipping the container spray and pressing the L2 button and pressing R2 to activate the spray. Another tip is you can use timefall shelters, which is one of the useful structures in the game where that gives you protection from timefall and also automatically repairs Sam's cargo containers. Very useful structure if Sam needs a quick rest as well to regain his stamina, especially when doing long trips during timefalls. When Sam is out in the field, which is going to be 90% of the entire game, it is suggested to pick up every Kyro crystal that you encounter in the field. You will be using this material a lot in the entire game to power up mines or to make use of great gears. Make it a habit to always pick this material and it will surely pile up easily over time. So by the time you need it, your stock will be ready for use. Tip number 6 is to make sure to take on side orders that you can easily complete along with your main orders. Make it a habit to check the terminal in every shelter that you come across when progressing in the story. Chances are there are available side orders for you to take on a side shelter along the way while heading to your main destination. If you do this consistently, you will easily gain likes or XP and increase your connection levels from these shelters. While aid requests are just another type of deliveries that you can straightly complete even without accepting designated orders from a terminal. You oftentimes find aid requests in the field, and aid request cargoes are highlighted with light green color, and these cargoes are scattered across the world. So in combination with main orders and standard orders, be on the lookout of aid requests to gain likes in the fastest time possible. If you're getting value so far, subscribe to the channel. Liking the video and engaging in the comments helps me a lot. Join our Discord server and discuss role-playing games such as this, and I appreciate your support. Taking advantage of shared lockers is a must. There is a high chance that you will be finding useful items that you can take in your next delivery, and most of the time these are blood bags, ladders, anchor poles, weapons, and even lost cargoes, which I will dive into later on. So before heading out, always check the shared locker in your terminals, especially if you are low on raw materials to craft your own items. Tip number 8 is taking advantage of recycling items that you already use in the field for a little bit of raw materials refund rather than throwing them away in the field. I mostly recycle guns and grenades after using them in combat since most of the ammo and grenades were already spent in the previous run. Ideally, you will want freshly loaded weapons in your next trip, so you will be crafting new ones, so make sure to avoid trashing your useless equipment but recycle them instead. The recycle refunds are not that high, especially if you are in mid to end game, but in the early game, every raw material count is helpful. Tying your cargoes with the use of your strand gives some better balancing capabilities, especially when dealing with heavy loads. This is a game changer, especially in the early game since you do not have the equipment nor the stance to handle heavy loads effectively. You can tie your cargo by accessing the radial action shortcuts by pressing the up directional button. Let Sam offload his backpack to the ground and equip the strand. Approach your backpack and you will see the tie option to do this easy hack on the go. Crafting structures, weapons, and items requires raw materials like ceramics, alloys, metals, and more. In the early game, you will find yourself lacking these materials, but as soon as you reach Australia, farming materials is an easy feat to do. One easy trick to gain lots of raw materials right away is to suck specific available materials from the closest shelter near the Magellan. Because the shelters and facilities in this game produce their own materials, especially if you increase your connection to them by completing orders. So you have every right to claim all of the materials from these shelters and transfer them to the Magellan. I mentioned that the Magellan is your main ship or hub in this game, so it is wise to store the majority of your raw materials here since you will be doing the majority of crafting on the ship. Especially if you unlock fast travel, how easy for you to just teleport on certain points and get all of the available raw materials from the nearby shelters, especially if you need bulk materials. One easy way to pile up raw materials is to raid bandit camps with a vehicle. Most of the time, bandit bases houses a lot of raw materials, so raid these camps and load up your materials to your tri-cruiser or off-roader truck, for example, which can carry a lot of materials and then deliver it directly to the Magellan. In connection with the last step, you can find and activate special mine locations scattered across the world. You can use Cairo crystals to produce certain materials. Each mine can produce a specific type of material, so if you need a huge amount of certain materials, like there's a need for a high volume, mines are the first location that I will go to. So be sure to check side orders that may unlock mine locations, and you can take advantage of these locations in the entire game. In early game, everything that increases your stats is a huge tons of help, since you lack the raw stats and equipment to tackle challenging terrains. So every time you access the Magellan or a shelter, make it a habit to drink 2 to 3 bottles of chiral tea. You can do so by examining the nearby desk from your bed and have up to 25% stamina gauge increase. The 20 to 25% stamina increase can go a long mile and most of the time can save you in tight situations. Since this game has a lot of things that it doesn't tell the player, players can always access VR training to hone their porter or combat skills when staying at the Magellan. You can access challenging courses to learn how to control Sam or load or spawn enemies to test each of the weapons or master hand-to-hand combat, just like in Metal Gear series. If you find yourself in a not so good situation where Sam badly needs to sleep and there are no nearby shelters available to you, you can always just sleep in a safe location. Just press and hold the square button when out in the field. Sleeping in the field is also a great tool to pass the time in the game. Like for example, if you don't want to explore at night, you can just sleep and continue your journey at daytime. Tip number 15 is mastering character progression. Completing any kind of order in the game will give you likes. Likes increases relationship levels for Sam between NPCs who manage shelters across the world. Then the relationship levels of each NPC is presented in the form of stars. So you will be improving your relationship with these NPCs by completing more orders for them. And each star level that Sam managed to max out will unlock certain upgrades that only that shelter can provide. Just think of it this way, each shelter offers unique equipment, and as your star level increase, you will be unlocking higher upgrades of that specific equipment line. Tip number 16 is taking advantage of lost cargoes. Each shelter has its designated lost cargo that is usually found around a shelter's area or scattered across the world or by checking out shared lockers. More into this later. Lost cargoes can add significant likes on top of your standard or main orders if you deliver them to its designated shelter, and this is one of the fastest way to increase star levels. So make it a habit to be on the lookout for lost cargoes while you are out in the field. I mentioned that lost cargoes are usually found around the vicinity of a shelter. One easy tip to locate lost cargo is by constructing a watchtower near the shelter and scanning the surrounding areas. In this way, you can easily locate and reveal information about the shelter's surrounding. Not just in shelters, but watchtowers can easily be used to survey a bandit camp and assess your enemies before heading to combat, or simply assess the terrain around you when doing deliveries. Aside from relationship levels, like can also increase Sam's porter grade. As the porter grade increases, the more A-Pass enhancements can be unlocked. Take it as your special passives that Sam can equip in the game. Take it as your skill tree, and it is categorized around stealth, combat, and more. So depending on your playstyle or in what area of expertise you want to focus on, focus your upgrades on that specific category. Like for example, you want to focus on combat, you can unlock A-Pass combat enhancements. However, there is a limit to how many passives you can equip at a time, and this limit is determined by how many memory slots you have. As you increase your porter grade, the more memory slots and new skills you can unlock. I will give the best early upgrades later on in the best A-Pass enhancement section, so stay tuned for that. Aside from star and relationship levels and Sam's porter grade, he has a separate stats that grows over time. Of course, the more the stats, the stronger Sam's get. Like for example, Sam's carrying capacity can increase over time if he always carries heavy cargo when on the field. Or if you are using the assault rifle more often, Sam gets more adept at using it, unlocking more stats. You don't need to be stressed about this whole stats growing thing, so you can just focus on the game and let your stats grow on their own. Tip number 20 is to know how to increase your porter grade and relationship level fast. I mentioned that all types of orders provide likes, but if you want to level your porter grade and stars level fast, you can farm standard orders and repeatedly delivering lost cargoes. Shelter and facility terminals often let you access shared lockers. Shared lockers are basically online lockers that other players can access as well, and this is where they put items and weapons for you to use. However, the best thing is, oftentimes that other players mostly store their lost cargoes as well for you to deliver it for them. You'll be finding a lot of lost cargo in shared lockers, and this is where the leveling trick begins. What I usually do is get all of the available lost cargo on a certain facility. Then I can easily determine the lost cargo's designated location by examining the image that is being shown when you hover on these lost cargoes. Each of the point person of that shelter can easily be recognized as well. Then I will also check standard orders that I can also complete with the lost cargoes that I have. When the destination is set, you can just hop onto your ship or the Magellan and fast travel to the location where the desired location is nearest, with no hassle whatsoever. After arriving in the destination, just turn in the lost cargo along with the standard orders that you took previously, and you will be gaining likes fast if you do this over and over. This makes your porter grade and shelter relationship levels grows fast and unlock more special equipment as soon as possible. Although you will be getting the Magellan grade for your standard deliveries, the likes that you get from it are still decent, and it piles up quickly if you turn in your lost cargo as well. This is the main reason why I ask you to focus on the story first and unlock fast travel before trying to do a bunch of side quests, as it can save you a lot of time. Tip number 23 is taking advantage of specific loadout slots. Your equipment slots actually have designated slots on them, and like for example, grenades must go to grenade pouches, blood bags must go to your utility pouch, main weapons or guns usually should be placed in the tool or weapon rack, handgun should be placed on handgun holsters, excess boots must be placed on your boot clip. Other excess tools can attach to your suit is ideal. Your last option is to add these excess materials to your backpack, and like for example, an extra blood bag or weapons. Your backpack should always be reserved for the actual cargo rather than your equipment, so keep this in mind. Picking up lost cargoes or doing deliveries can mess up your backpack loadouts most of the time, but you can easily access your quick shortcut radial menu by pressing the up directional button and then accessing auto arrange. Just like that, Sam will fix his cargo loadout automatically for you, instead of accessing the cargo management menu when auto-arranging your cargos. You already know what APAS enhancements do, but basically they are just your special passives in this game. Now I'll be making a separate guide on which skills you need to get early on, so I will just be going over them quickly in this guide. But the best one to get as soon as possible are the improved MP bullets, which strengthens the majority of your gun's damage and accuracy. Next is the augmented terrain scanner, which doubles the other deck's terrain scanner range so you can plan ahead of time when planning your route from a distance. Skeleton auto assist is a game changer, especially in early games. It helps you retain your optimal balance more easily when the skeleton gear is equipped. An augmented motion scanner is suggested as well, since it will allow you to retain entities much longer on the screen after a scan, giving you an ample amount of time when planning stealth attacks. The last one for now is simple noise canceller, making Sam's footsteps harder to detect when doing stealth strategies. Now these are just few examples of great passives, and surely more will be covered soon. The Tri-Cruiser is one of the best early vehicles that you can use in the game. However, using it on a rocky terrain or mountain ranges can be challenging. The Tri-Cruiser can lift its front wheel to do a wheelie so you can easily reach elevated areas or uneven terrain. Do this by pulling the left analog stick down when navigating on a rocky terrains. You can also make the Tri-Cruiser jump by pressing the X button, very helpful when you are trying to unstuck yourself whenever you are stuck in rocky terrains. You can also pick cargo easily or cryo crystals when mounted on a smaller vehicle like the Tri-Cruiser. Easily do so by pressing the triangle button near the material that you want to pick up, and this applies to small cargos as well. Pretty useful when hunting lost cargos near shelters. I cannot stress how I wasted a lot of time going on and off from my Tri-Cruiser to get certain materials or when picking up lost cargo. The pickup off-roader is simply one of the best vehicles to use, especially when delivering large quantities of cargos or when farming materials, because this monster has a huge loading capacity that you can take advantage of. You'll be unlocking special weapon attachment for it soon as well, but in early game, you can simply equip a gun and fire at your enemies while mounted on the off-roader. This is very useful when traversing BT areas, so you can take out BTs without the need of getting off the vehicle. Tip number 27 is you don't actually need to do a manual repairs just to restore your vehicle to its optimal state. You can simply store them in the Magellan and get them out to repair them completely. There are a lot of good weapons to use early that warrant a full video, but here are the absolute best gear to use early. The Trunk Sniper is one of the best early weapons to take out enemies from a great range obviously. Although the sniper does not have any silencers when you first unlock it, it still provides value for those who love to play like a true sniper. This is an optional weapon that you can easily miss, but get this weapon by taking the standard order delivery, the dismantled rifle from the Governor's Shelter to the Lone Governor's Shelter. The assault rifle is the best all-rounder weapon as expected, very useful in many situations because of its versatile range. This baby is deadly, especially after unlocking its grenade attachment later on. The good thing is, you will be unlocking this badass as the start of the game. As expected, shotguns in this game are the king of close-range combat, very effective in almost every target, especially machines. This bad boy can even have the grenade attachment for versatility, which makes this weapon type even deadlier. You will be unlocking shotguns by just progressing in the story or by delivering the order for the musician. In Death Stranding, you can customize your backpack by adding attachment to it. These attachments make significant improvements to Sam's overall loadout. The best attachments to get early on is the anti-gravity material, which is broken since this attachment increases your load capacity by a ton. Broken in the early game since you don't have the necessary gear and stats to carry heavy loads that much, and this still will breach that gap. Unlock this attachment by just doing orders for the Governor, and I suggest start using it right away as soon as you unlock it. Another broken attachments are ammo containers that you will be unlocking easily by doing deliveries for the Governor. What it does is it supplies your gun's extra magazines when completely running out of ammo. You may think that it's not doing its purpose. You can see the amount of your reserves on your actual bullet count. The ammo pouch attachments will just supply a magazine when your guns runs out of ammo. This is very useful when doing long fights. Your backpack has limited space though when it comes to attachments, but equipping at least 3 anti-gravity materials, 1 ammo container, and 2 grenade pouches is a good build to start with. You will be clearing cargo deliveries with this setup without a hassle. Combat is a whole new topic and I will be discussing it in detail in a separate video. But for now, here are the basics that you absolutely need to know. Did you know that Sam can evade attacks by dodging them like a badass? And for you to do so, just press and hold the R2 and L2 triggers and press X before the enemy attacks hit you. With a little practice, you will be dodging most of the attacks from human enemies like a pro. Tip number 35 is when in tight situations, you can quickly stun or stagger human enemies by running and jumping. Then quickly press the circle button at mid-air to do a knee charge, or by pressing R1 instead when on mid-air to do a body slam. This move completely knocks out enemies on their feet and then you can finish them off with a ground kick. But you can also do a powerful drop kick that can easily knock out enemies in an instant. To do this, run and jump, but delay pressing the circle button and will allow Sam to do a strong dropkick. One of my favorite weapons since Death Stranding 1 is the Strand. This weapon can destroy enemies in an instant with quick parries and takedowns. You can parry attacks by simply holding the L2 button and pressing R2 before the enemy close range attacks hit you. When you successfully parried an attack, you can press the R2 or circle button again to do the one-shot takedown. Not to mention that parry windows is pretty forgiving in this game, so you will have an easy time mastering this broken moveset. Since you made it this far, I do have a bonus tip for you. You can also block attacks easily in this game by pressing the L2 or R2 triggers. Keep in mind that Sam's consciousness gauge depletes while blocking attacks. Your consciousness gauge will be shown on the top of your health, which is the bright orange bar. Replenishing the consciousness gauge is actually easy and forgiving. There are still a lot of tips and guides that I will be covering for this game because of its size. But for now, these tips will get you up to speed to have the perfect start in the game. But what if you want to know more about the best early weapons in the game? Click on this video and I will catch you on the next one.